What's up guys, I'm here with another video, welcome to episode 147, Let's Build a City. Today we're building a modern office building. Let's build a modern office building.
Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make a modern office building. This office building features 7 floors, employee parking. Every single floor has a lobby exactly like this one, stairwells exactly like this one, and possibly most importantly, every single floor has an office exactly like this one. We have a secretary area, a manager's office, a meeting room, and a bunch of cubes. Oh, plus there's a coffee shop on the top floor. If you enjoy this tutorial, please do remember to hit that like button as it helps me and the channel out very, very much. And that's pretty much it. Please try and watch as much of the video as possible, as that helps out loads and loads too. Without any further ado, let's get started. This is the amount of space required to make your modern office building, a 27 by 44 block area as represented by the white concrete grid on the ground, which I would always recommend making if you are planning out your work. It can only help. Here are all of the materials. Throughout the build, please do make sure that you have access to all those materials and enough of them as well. And now that we have all of that stuff, we can get started. So step 1, come all the way over to the front left hand corner of your grid, if you've made it, and count backwards 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then right by 2, 1, 2. We're going to start off by placing 4 smooth quartz on top of each other. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then place 2 upside down smooth quartz stairs going right. 1, 2. Smooth quartz block. 2 stair. Quartz block. 2 stair. Quartz block. 2 stair. Quartz block. 2 stair. Quartz block. Now, we should have, just before we go any further, 5 sets of those 2 stairs. And once we have done that, we can extend down all of those quartz blocks to the ground, so we can kind of make a little bit of framework out of all of the blocks that we've just made. And these are basically just going to be the bottom windows of the office building, so they'll end up looking a little something like this. We want to take the end of the structure that we've just made, so where we would just build it, and we've connected it down, and we want to place a row of birch planks in front of it. We then want to take the top block here, and we want to extend it to the right by 1 using birch stairs. We then want to place birch planks on the end, extend the birch planks backwards by 3, 1, 2, 3. And then we want to extend that block to the right by 4 using grey concrete. 1, 2, 3, 4. We want to extend the first grey concrete down to the ground and the last grey concrete down to the ground. We then want to continue extending to the right by 4. So, well, actually by 3 this time. So 1, 2, 3. And then we can join that third block down to the ground. And then once more, we only have to do it one more time. 1, 2, 3, and then join that last block to the ground like this. And whilst we are here, I would just like to clean things up a little bit. So I want to extend the birch planks down to the ground here. So I just want to get those extended down to the ground. I want to add glass to the majority of this. So everywhere that I said there would be a window, which is basically, I mean, just about everywhere that we have left a gap is in fact a window. So we can fill all of this in just using blue glass pane, like so. And once we have filled in that left part, we want to do the same here. Now it's a little bit different on the front, so the middle area, the middle gap, is going to be a door, and it's kind of up to you how you want to make the door. Like a common door that I like to use whenever a door is going to be glass, I usually like half fill the area and stick an end rod there, so on where the glass is, and it just looks like a door that one would actually like pull open. So what I also want to do is I want to, in front of the top of the row of grey concrete, I want to place a row of upside down birchwood stairs, and then grab these smooth quartz slabs, and I'm going to extend these slabs forwards until they overhang the front of the build by one row. So that's just this little birchwood part here. I'm then going to convert the front right hand corner of this area into a solid quartz block and join it down to the ground using black stone wool. And there you go. I mean, that's majoritively the front of the building. We now have to move on to the sides, and we have to do those, although it's a lot easier to do pretty much the entire rest of the building. So on the right side of the build, we are going to take the top corner here, and we're going to extend it backwards by 6 using grey concrete. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Join that down to the ground. We're then going to extend an additional 3. 1, 2, 3. Join down to the ground. An additional 3. 1, 2, 3. Join it down to the ground. And then there will be 3 rows, so 1, 2, 3, just like this. So the front of this wants to be filled in, so this relatively large portion here wants to be filled in. And then these 2 windows want to be filled in using glass pane. So the side of the build will look a little something like this. Then when we come to the back of the build here, we want to add a bit more detail as well. So we want to start off by extending the entire back across by 6 rows. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we can just take one of these like this. Then we want to extend the top across by 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we can join that down. We can fill this in using blue glass pane. Perfect. Then we want to add a row of birch to the right of this. Extend forwards, place an upside down birchwood stair to the right, plank on the end, extend down, add a row of smooth quartz block behind this, and then fill the front of this in using birch, or rather using blue glass pane. We want to extend the quartz area across by 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then, well, every single one of these blocks, so just like that. Here, here. Then we're going to take the top and extend it to the right by 3, 1, 2, 3, and then join it down. Going to fill this in using blue stained glass pane. And then finally, another row of 6 will do it. It'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And hopefully, if everything has went to plan, if it hasn't went to plan, something has went severely wrong, then we can join the front and the back together, just using a solid row of block of quartz, because there's not really room for windows on this side in particular. So all in all, I mean, I can show you from a couple of different angles. I mean, this is what it wants to look like from the top, and then from the front, of course. And I mean, the sides are pretty boring in comparison to the front, but this is essentially as hard as the build gets, ladies and gentlemen, because the next part of this is going to be very, very repetitive. Although we're going to sort out the rest of the outside before we start turning this into what essentially could be a skyscraper if you wanted it to be. Okay, so we are going to start work on the outside of the build now. And to do that, we're going to need a... you wanted it to be. Okay, so we are going to start work on the outside of the build now. And to do that, we're going to need a few different things. So we'll need some white concrete, we'll need yellow carpet, lime terracotta, birch fence, oak leaves, flowers, I like the azure bluets, some smooth stone, maybe some red concrete, although that might be for a little bit later on, and some light grey concrete, question mark. There's got to be a reason that... We've got it. So, now that we have all of this stuff, we can get started. I'm going to begin by placing a set of flowers in front of the left side of the building. So this is specifically in front of the set of windows that we have right here. In front of the flowers specifically, I'm going to dig 2 rows, and in front of where the birch sticks out, I'm going to dig out 2 rows to make a rectangle, and I'm going to stick lime terracotta. In front of this, I'm going to dig out rows, and I'm going to extend all the way to the boundary, so that is the grid. For those of you that haven't made the grid, you poor souls, you want to dig out 4 rows directly in front of the building, and simply just 2 rows. To the left also. So I'm just going to dig just to the left of the flowers. We can sort the rest of it out later, because this is also going to be dependent. This building is actually perfect to stick next to stuff, because on the left of the building, like, it can quite easily adjoin something because there's no detail on it. So it depends where you're going to stick this. We'll talk about it more later. So anyway, we're going to take the smooth stone area and we're going to dig all the way out to where we have the black wall. So this is going to be, I mean, this lines up with the side of the building essentially. So once we've done this, we have to make a bit of a pathway up the right side of the building as well. This is a tad more important. It's not necessary to have a car park for the office, but it seems to me that a super fancy modern office building would have a car park. It's necessary to have a car park for the office, but it seems to me that a super fancy modern office building would have a car park. It would also seem to me that it'd have some of those spaces that are reserved for the fancy high-up people in the company, Mr. Johnson and such. You know him. He's very well versed in business, and he wears a suit and has most of his hair, but not all of it. But anyway, we're going to dig 2 rows to the right of the building, pretty much extending all the way to the back. Not really necessary to dig any rows out of the back of the building, although we are going to be later, just to give the building a little bit of boost. To the right of the building, pretty much extending all the way to the back. Not has most of its hair, but not all of it. But anyway, we're going to dig 2 rows to the right of the building, pretty much extending all the way to the back. Not really necessary to dig any rows out of the back of the building, although we are going to be later, just to give the building a little bit of breathing room. But actually, we may as well do this now, because as we are digging backwards, it would be rather quick just to kind of like, I might place some flowers along the back. You know where we like naturally have like grass here? I think flowers across the back will just be just fine. And then we'll just have one row of smooth stone if you do want to navigate around the building. But once more, you don't even need any space back here, so if you wanted to back this onto something, like onto another build, or if you didn't care if it was accessible from the back, then this is all meaningless, the left side of the back here. But it just makes it look a little bit nicer for those of you that want to traverse around. So now that we have done that, the next thing that we're going to do is set up a little bit more of a parking structure, and that begins by placing some more smooth stone. So we're going to dig a row of 7 to the right of the front of the smooth stone area. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And it wants to be 4 rows deep, so we've already got 1, 2, 3, 4, just like this. So 7 by 4 rectangular area, just like this. And all of this is going to be smooth stone, like so. I'm realising that the light grey concrete, I've realised what it's for, but we don't need it now. I want to swap the light grey concrete with grey concrete, because we're going to dig 3 rows, 1, 2, 3, to the right of all of this, just like so. And then the last 2 rows I'm going to make smooth stone. So, I want to make the little rectangular shape that we have here. I want to add another 2 rows behind it, but it's going to be lime terracotta. So this is important because I want to plant some fake trees here. It's birchwood fence on the left, the right, and the middle, and then we want to have leaves on top of the fence. I'm choosing to place 2 leaves on top of each fence like this. And also over here on the left, basically the scheme is this. If we start on the left, it's basically fence, gap of 2, fence, gap of 2, fence, so on and so forth. You guys get the idea. So eventually you won't be able to place any more fence because you will simply have a gap of 2. So that's all we're doing. And if you wanted to, I think that you can actually place these even. No, you can't, because it'd be a gap of 3 on the left. But I actually don't care that it's a little bit uneven. I'm actually quite happy with how that looks. So yeah, I think that it looks quite nice with this. The little bit of greenery I think really does add something. Car parking spaces. Actually, no. First of all, we want to take the smooth stone area at the back here, and we want to add 2 rows of smooth stone across the back and extending forwards. So like this. So this is going to help to, what would be the words? It's going to help to box in, to frame, might be a better word, the car park area. So we're going to simply just add 2 rows of smooth stone here, and then at the back, just like we've got at the front, literally the same, we want to have 2, well not literally the same actually, we want to have 2 rows of lime terracotta like this, and we want to have a set of trees. So the trees are going to be on this back row, and it's again, fence, gap of 2, fence, gap of 2, fence, gap of 2, fence, gap of 2. And you will find that this spreads rather evenly across the back, and the trees just line up nicely. So the end result is this. Now we want to make car park spaces. The car parking spaces are as long as the terracotta that we have. So as long as the lime terracotta. It's made out of white concrete. I believe I got a better picture of this. Yes, the car parking spaces are 3 rows apart, so if you were to dig little gaps of 3, or to leave little gaps of 3, and place white concrete in the 3rd row, then this is how your car parking spaces would look. I'm also going to be adding some yellow carpet to them, and I'll also be filling the entire area in with grey. We also, by the way, majoritively, once that has been done, we have majoritively completed most of the office building, or at least in terms of the outside and in terms of structure. The office building is surprisingly incredibly easy to make, or at least I hope that I have made it quite easy. Once you've got that first layer done, as we have, you're going to notice that every single other layer becomes rather easy after that. So we also have to do, I think we have to do the floor, really. Yeah, we probably have to make we might make the floor inside, although That seems like something that can be done later, actually, because it's just going to be a bunch of red concrete. I'm using red concrete. You can even use red wool as well, which looks a little bit more like carpet, but that's up to you. I learned the texture of concrete. Although, again, wool's nice as well. You could even go with something a bit more colourless. I consider like the black, white and grey to be a little bit colourless, meaning it kind of just goes with anything. It's not literally colourless, but you know, it just kind of like vibes with everything. We have just about filled in all of that. That's looking good, isn't it? I like how it looks. It just looks so clean. It's perfect. So now that we have done that, I want to, underneath all of the windows, this might even be a job for later, but underneath all of the windows, where's the quartz? I'm going to fill in the windows using, like, underneath the front windows, quartz, where we have this birch window here. You might guess it. I'm going to place some birch. Let's just climb that. There we go. Underneath these grey windows, I already have this. I'm going to have grey. In between the doorway, this will of course be the flooring material, which is going to be red concrete. Underneath these windows, also grey. Underneath this back window, also grey. Underneath this window, birch. And finally, underneath this window, some quartz. So, I mean, hard to see it all in one go, but you can see it just looks a lot better this way. What else do we need to do? Honestly, we don't really need to do too much more other than begin to build up the height of the building. So, as I've mentioned ad nauseum, which means too much in Latin, we are going to, let's grab everything that I know that we will need. So, we will need the smooth quartz block, birch planks, birch stairs, blue stained glass pane, we'll need the quartz slabs, polished black stone wall. That might be it. I think that we've actually nailed it. If you want to install and mark out floors, then red concrete is perfect for you. But it's actually quite obvious. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to mark this particular part of the video out. Whatever this time is, I'm sure that I'll put it on the screen, and I might even include it in the description and all sorts of that. This is the part where we are going to make the next floor of the building. This part is repeatable, so as many times as you need to follow this upcoming part, feel free to do so. But this is how we are going to put the height of the building. This part is repeatable. That's the last thing I'll say. So, I'm going to mark out where the floors of the building are going to go. It goes basically like just above the glass line is where the next floor of the office building is going to go. It's fairly obvious though. I mean, we've literally got on the outside like this big giant overhanging thing. Like it's obvious where the next floor of the building would go. So the next question will be is how do you make the actual next floor? Let's start again on the front left-hand corner of the office building. We'll be going through this a little bit.
Dermaveen with Oat Active Plus hydrates and protects dry, itchy and sensitive skin in 6 ways to help skin get back to how it should be. Be a Derma Queen with Dermaveen.
Quickly, because we've already done it once. We'll take the corner and extend it up by 4 using block of quartz. 1, 2, 3, 4. Place 2 upside down stairs to the right. 1, 2. Smooth quartz block. 2 stairs. Smooth quartz block. 2 stairs. Smooth quartz block. 2 stairs. You'll notice that this lines up perfectly with the area below. And as such, you can literally connect it to the area below using the smooth quartz. Built in between these areas in using glass, as these are also, of course, windows. And then we can continue to make the next part. I don't know why I feel like making this in parts like I'm doing now, whereas like usually Usually I like to kind of like go all the way around the building and add windows after, but it just feels right. In front of this row of smooth quartz, we're going to extend a row of birch. We want to place an upside down birchwood stair to the right of the top, extend a row of birch planks to meet it from the right side extending up, and then place 3 rows of birch behind this to line up on top of the birch that you could see were present on the previous layer. Fill the outside of this in, and you can see that this part of the building has now been extended upwards. We want to add, we're missing material. I don't know how we missed the grey concrete, it's quite integral. To the right of this, we want to add a vertical row of grey concrete. We also want to do this where we also have the vertical rows of grey concrete just below us. They work out to be 2 rows apart from each other. We can join them together at the top like so, and then we can fill these in using some blue glass paint. So as we just move across, if you are using a controller like I am, I find it easy to just go like one way because it's just like, it feels so slow just moving around, but there we go. In front of the top of this, place a row of upside down birchwood stairs, followed by rows of smooth quartz slabs extending forwards until we overhang one row. Take the end corner of this, extend it down, convert it into a block, and place black stone wall extending from the 2 quartz layers like this. On the right side of the build, we want to copy the positioning of the windows. So if you just raise up the frame of the windows, just next to them like this, they want to be raised up by 4 rows to meet the front and the back of the build as well when we get there. Fill in the gaps that we have on the left and right, these are going to just be solid. And then we fill the top of them in using just grey concrete. Add some glass in between these windows, and this will be this. And there, you can see that, I mean, that's pretty much the front and the side of the building complete. It's looking pretty nice. On the back of the build, we can do the same. We simply build up the left and the right side of the windows. We can join it together at the top if you'd prefer to do that first. We can fill this part of the wall in using grey, which just leaves the window hole here remaining. We then want to raise up the 2 rows of birch to the right of this to equal the height of the grey concrete. We then want to raise up the birch planks to the right, add a row of smooth quartz block behind, I don't know why I wanted to do this now, but I did, and then upside down birchwood stairs to join it together, glass pane in between, and you can see, again, just adding to the previous layer, probably the easiest way to do this, actually. We then want to simply raise up the remaining part of the back of the building. We'll ignore the window section, and in doing that, that kind of just like allows us to build the actual frame of the window just by adding an extra row of quartz at the top, some glass pane in between, and there you go. It's as easy as that. On the sides, we don't have anything on the sides, so we can just add a row of smooth quartz, and this is that's it essentially. I mean, that is an extra row of the office building, and hopefully not too difficult to do. So from that time that I said all the way up until this time right here is repeatable. We are going to be doing that, or at least I'm going to do that 3 more times in total, and then I'll show you how you put an end to it, because the very top is different from the middle. So let me add a few more layers off camera, and I'll be back once it's done. Cue the old school Batman music, or is that Scooby-Doo? I can't remember. So I finished adding all of the additional floors. My particular Or is that Scooby-Doo? I can't remember. So I finished adding all of the additional floors. My particular office building has 5 floors in total, including the ground floor, or at least 5 office floors. What we have to do next, and I do want to just quickly, I've already made the ground floor red concrete and it's looking nice. I'm going to add in all of the individual floors before we tackle this, going all the way up to the top. So once we have added all of the floors in, because I just think it's just easy to add them in, and you guys know where they go. They go where the top of the window line is. It should hopefully be quite obvious. I mean, just by taking a nice little peek here where each individual floor goes. Once that has been done, I will show you how to put a literal lid on this. So now that we have
are you doing here? Can you get out, please? How about you go play out with Jackson? See if he's outside. Sorry about that, guys. I was just talking to my brother. I'm just gonna add all of the glass in every single gap I've made. Put all the windows in. And yeah. Oh. There we go.
Your school isn't open tomorrow.
Isn't it?
No, only for essential.
Why isn't it open tomorrow?
Because of the storm.
Oh.
I guess they're just being...
So guys, I haven't got to school tomorrow. So I guess it was just a pointless week for school for me. Because yeah, I only got 3 floors left to do on my office building. So make sure you like and subscribe. I think next week everything might be back to normal. I don't know if there's any more storms or not. I had to leave from school early today, guys, because there was a storm coming. But although it didn't start raining, So tomorrow I'll do a live stream in the morning, because tomorrow is actually my friend's birthday, aka Red Killer Vlogs' birthday. So I'm gonna make a live stream on Fortnite with him, because he hasn't got school on Friday, aka tomorrow. Today is Thursday, so tomorrow is March 4th. And that's the date of my friend's birthday. So I'm gonna do a live stream on Fortnite probably, if he's online, on his birthday. So yeah, I haven't got school tomorrow, guys. So I'll be live tomorrow, nice and normal. I had school today and yesterday. I have only 2 days of school this week, so it was just pointless. So make sure you like and subscribe. Comment if you have built this build, guys, because this red concrete block is just hurting my eyes. Hold on. Oh, sorry guys, I just had to look away because my eyes get hurt, because my eyes hurt from this block. Only have 1 more floor to do. Only 1 more. That's crazy, guys. So this build is actually, it was pretty hard, but now it's really easy. All I have to do is put every single floor on, fill it in with red concrete, and then I can finish off this build, put a roof on it. So yeah, so I'm not going to school tomorrow. I'll be live nice and normal tomorrow morning, because on the weekend I'm going to be live streaming as normal as well. But on Friday or something, I'm not too sure. Sorry. In April 1st, I won't be going to school. Oh, wait a minute. I think it's April 1st, 2022. I won't be going to school because we break up for Easter. So, I'll be right back, guys. I'm gonna go and see what my family's doing. Oh, my eyes. Alright guys, I'm back.
Get into the guys for a real catch on.
Advert.
Real catch on this Westinghouse oven. Real.
That entered pretty much every single floor. You might notice that I've actually gotten to the top now. This is where things change a little bit. So I'm going to connect the quartz part of the build together, and I'm going to connect the quartz part of the build together using quartz. So pretty much everything kind of like left at the top of the office building, and then everything on the right I'm going to make red concrete. So you guys will notice the reason for this when we actually do start making the top of this, but that is kind of going to be the left and right split that we're going to be dealing with. So I just wanted to point that out just before you may have actually added in your own floors and like made the whole thing red concrete. Okay, so we are now at the point where we can put the top on our building. I don't want to make it sound as though it's like some really difficult thing to do, because it's not, but it is different from the previous levels. So, once you are happy... with the height of your building, and 5 is a nice minimum, by the way. I'd probably make it higher if you wanted to, but once you have hit the point where it's as high as you would like it to be, we are going to come to the birch section at the front of the build, and we are going to take the left side here and raise it up by 4 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4. Place an upside down birchwood stair to the right, with a row of birchwood planks that meets it on the right side. Stick some blue glass pane in the middle, and extend all of the rows of birch planks backwards by 3. You can see where you have to extend it to from the previous layer. We now want to also raise up the grey concrete part as well. That is the same as the previous layers. It is basically just rows of 4 grey concrete with 2 row separations joined together at the top. So just like this, to which we can then fill them in using blue glass paint. I feel as though that I should have already said this, but I guess hopefully it's obvious now. We are just raising up the right side of the building. Like, we're not doing anything new, we're just not extending up the left side of the building. So what we now want to do, now that we've done the front there, is we want to come onto the side, and we want to raise up all of the grey concrete parts except for the windows. We'll just do left and right of them, and then that will frame the middle part for us. So in raising up the left and right, we can then raise up the middle, and then we can join it together at the top, just like this. And we can stick some glass in these empty holes that we call windows, and easy peasy. Same thing just here on the back as well. So the grey concrete area, we'll start by raising this up, the left side, then the right, join it together, blue glass in the empty gap, raise up the birch not using that, we raise up the birch plank part on the left, right side, join together at the top, actually using an upside down stair, my bad, glass in between, and then all we've got to do is connect the front and the back. So I mean, you can do this using either birch or you can use quartz. It doesn't actually matter, it's a personal preference sort of thing, just like this. And then we can join the front and the back together like here as well. So just at the top, feel free to include a window in the top of this. We have to fill in the grey concrete part 2. This part isn't accessible via stairs or anything like that. This is just like... This is the very tippity top of the building, like no one can get up here, but that left side over there that we haven't extended up, I like the idea of that being a roof that you can actually walk on. So, for whatever reason, I don't know why, but it seemed to me that the building needed a logical end. So that's exactly what this is. I like this being a little bit taller. If you like, you can kind of separate things by placing a little row of quartz slabs just around the left side of the building here, or it's the right side. No, right, yeah, it's the left side of the building, and then that kind of just like solidifies it like that. I don't know, it just makes it like, it just looks a little bit more officially that side. And that's all there is to it, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, that is your office building. You nailed it. That's how it looks on the outside. But that's not all there is to it. We have to make some of the inside, which is exactly what I'm going to be doing. And I'm going to gather up the materials that we already have, and I'm going to figure out exactly what we need so that we can start work. To start.
Alright guys, wow, look at this. Oh, wow, I can't believe I just pulled off this. I just made an entire office building in a video. Oh my god guys, that is awesome. I'm super duper happy that I managed to pull off this trick. So I'm going to end the video here because I'm going to finish off this building off camera because I don't want to make this video too long. So I'll see you guys tomorrow in the next stream. See you guys tomorrow.